Here we have is a map displaying Germany in the aftermath of World War I and the subsequent Treaty of Versailles. Everything with this map looks perfectly okay until you realize that in this map it is showing Germany with its 1945 borders. I obviously don't know how anybody could get that confused. It is purely aggravating when people who make maps of Germany get their borders confused. It should not even show this sort of thing. This map is now showing something in the way of Germany somehow not still having its Pomeranian and Silesian territory, yet somehow this map shows Germany with still in possession of East Prussia. Also, why is Austria covered green? What in the world were they thinking with this bad map?
Here we have is our second bad map. Now, from what I gather, this map is showing all the countries of the communist Eastern Bloc during the Cold War. Now, this map would be very good if it wasn't for the fact that most of southern Africa and parts of Southeast Asia seem to be replaced by this endless ocean. It seems they all have sunk into the water. Same goes for Nepal and Bhutan. Otherwise, a very great map about the Cold War, but then again, it's just very hard to see and very hard to tell who was sleeping while this map was being made. Also, it seems Austria has reunited with West Germany. Wow, such a great map indeed, if it wasn't for those jarring errors. Ugh, talk about a bad map indeed. This map right here would be perfect. In fact, it's kind of hard to see if there's anything wrong with it. However, anyone with a keen eye could tell that this map definitely has one glaring problem. It seems that the Koreas have somehow reunited. Plus, the northern border of what should be North Korea is very sloppy. It's just jarring to look at. Now, like I said before, if anyone didn't know any better, you would think that this entire map had no problems. However, just look at it as long as you can, as long as you need to, and it really, really starts to show the problems that are in this map. Just take my word for it. It's just that bad. This map of all the European colonies in Africa seems very, very peculiar, especially considering that somehow Croatia has not only managed to colonize a good portion of Egypt, but also the Horn of Africa. Now, anyone that knows anything about colonial history would know that these regions were actually colonized by the United Kingdom. Also, considering the fact that Croatia was largely under the reign and rulership of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, it's highly unlikely that Croatia would ever, if at any point in time, have any sort of colonies, let alone African colonies. Unless this is some sort of an alternate history where Croatia somehow managed to become a global power, which is highly unlikely, this map is so inaccurate it's not even funny. At first glance, this map regarding NATO versus Russia looks entirely good. However, if you have a keen eye, you can tell there's a lot of problems with this map. For example, a lot of the borders at times come off very sloppy, and it seems Crimea now has a land bridge to mainland Russia, and for some reason there is now an infamous closing in all of the Black Sea, which now makes it a lake. And lastly, when it comes to Copenhagen and all the surrounding islands, they're now somehow part of Sweden. It's very strange when you think about it, you know. Understandable where this map's trying to go, but considering the fact a lot of land masses are now connected to the mainland of Europe, or seas are now lakes, ugh. Can we go to the next map already?
Here we have is a map of the Roman Empire. Now, right away you can tell the borders are very sloppy, and the coastlines are so atrocious, it is incredibly hard to look at. Ugh. Seriously, did someone make this in Photoshop or something? Oh wait, or was it MS Paint or something? Either way, the entirety of this map is just so awful. It's just painful to look at. Oh god. And what were they thinking when they made this? I get it, it's supposed to be the Roman Empire, but there are so many maps with more accurate coastlines and borders that this one should just instantly be discarded. Blech.
After spending a long time on the Thames River, London has decided to move northward. After all, it just wants a new locale. Well, Idaho seems to be now in what was formerly Oklahoma. Well, look out for those tornadoes there, Idaho. It seems that Iraq has gone missing and Egypt is filling in while it's away. But then again, where could Iraq have gone? It decided to switch places with Germany. Wow, looks like Germany has switched places with Iraq. Does it mean that Germany is now what is Egypt? Ah, yes, Hong Kong went on vacation in South America and it's enjoying the sunshine in the great country of Brazil. Argentina has decided to go north as to what was formerly known as Colombia. It seems Argentina likes the coffee. I know the problem with similar named countries is they get mixed up. Take the case of Nigeria and Niger and see what I mean.
Right away, there's a lot of bad things with this map. Aside from the sloppy coastlines, you can see a lot of new rivers and lakes forming. For some reason, Alaska and Quebec have decided to break away from North America, and the Black Sea has now become a lake, and oh god, this map is just so terrible to look at, it's not even funny. Australia has shrunk, and just everything is so wrong with it. There's islands missing, and for some reason the Atlantic Ocean has gotten smaller, and this map is so terrible. This map is so bad. Yuck. Who in their right mind is responsible for such an atrocity as this? Ugh. This map fails on so many levels. Oh god. Ugh. Here we have is another map from World War II. Now, for some reason, Northern Ireland does not have a border. Also, how in the world do you explain Belgium annexing part of Germany and Luxembourg? And the utter border regarding Austria is just sloppy. It's just awful. Ugh. And it's just ridiculous that the people who make these maps get them so inaccurate at times. It's unbelievable. It's just, ugh. You know, you're supposed to know the extent of the German military, and yet they still get it wrong. It's just, ugh. This is just aggravating to look at. The more I look at it, the angrier I get. It's just, the borders are just awful. Let's go to the next map. Right away, you can see everything wrong with this map. For some reason, Austria has decided to annex all of Slovakia. And once again, Budapest has decided to move from Hungary to Slovenia. Also, why in the world is Switzerland a massive lake? And can anyone explain to me why the Balkans decided to sink into the ocean? Oh yes, and if you can see, Belarus also sunk into the ocean as well, giving Poland an eastern coastline. Ugh, this entire map is just awful. It might explain why these pilots of this airline must have wrong flights. I don't know, it's just so insane, and the more you look at it, the more infuriating it becomes. Ugh. Oh, man. So, how in the world did we have the Lake of Switzerland again? I'd like to know about that.